In the affluent suburbs of Boston, where Victorian houses line maple-shaded streets, I thought I had everything figured out. My name is Sarah Mitchell, and this is the story of how my perfect life unraveled with a single discovery. 20 years ago, I met James Richardson at Boston University's library. He was everything I'd dreamed of: tall, intelligent, with piercing green eyes and a smile that could light up a room. That day, he wasn't alone. Beside him stood Rachel Thompson, his childhood best friend, with her infectious laugh and warm personality. Little did I know that these two people would become the architects of my greatest happiness and deepest pain. James and I married in 2006 in a beautiful ceremony where Rachel served as our officiant. We bought a stunning Victorian house in Cambridge, had 4 beautiful children, and created what I believed was an unshakable foundation. Rachel remained single but lived nearby with her 4 children, and our families became inseparable. Our Sunday dinners became a tradition. The sound of children's laughter filled our home as my Emily, Nathan, Grace, and Michael played with Rachel's kids, Daniel, Katie, and the twins, Jack and Jenny. It was picture perfect, or so I thought. The first crack in our perfect facade appeared last month. I was organizing our basement when I found a hidden box behind some old Christmas decorations. Inside were hundreds of letters, spanning 2 decades, exchanged between James and Rachel. My hands trembled as I read the first one, dated just weeks after our wedding. My dearest Rachel, last night was everything we've always dreamed of. Sarah doesn't suspect anything, and I pray she never will. I love you both, but differently. You're my soulmate, my first love, my eternal secret. The letters continued, each more devastating than the last. They detailed their ongoing affair, their secret meetings, and most horrifyingly, the truth about Rachel's children. All 4 of them were James's. As I read through the correspondence, patterns emerged that I'd been too blind to see. Rachel's pregnancies always coincided with periods when James had frequent business trips. Her children shared James's distinctive features. Daniel had his smile, Katie his eyes, and the twins his musical talent. The most devastating revelation came when I realized why Rachel never needed financial support from any supposed anonymous donors. James had been secretly supporting them all along, using a separate bank account I knew nothing about. But the true horror of the situation didn't hit me until last week. Emily, my 15-year-old daughter, came home floating on air. Daniel, Rachel's 17-year-old son, had asked her to the winter formal. My daughter was falling in love with her half-brother, and I was the only one who knew the truth. That night, I couldn't sleep. I watched James sleeping peacefully beside me, the man I'd shared my life with for 20 years, and felt like I was looking at a stranger. How many nights had he left our bed to be with her? How many lies had he told while looking into my eyes? The next morning, over breakfast, Emily couldn't stop talking about her upcoming date with Daniel. James and Rachel, who had stopped by for coffee as she did every morning, exchanged knowing smiles. I wanted to scream, to flip the table, to expose their decades of deception. Instead, I smiled and poured more coffee. But that wasn't the end of my discoveries. Yesterday, while using James's laptop to check our joint account, I found emails between them discussing Rachel's current pregnancy. Yes, she's expecting again at 45. They were planning to pass it off as another donor baby, just like all the others. The weight of these secrets is crushing me. Every family photo on our walls now feels like a lie. Every memory is tainted. Every Sunday dinner, holiday celebration, and shared vacation was built on deception. Tonight, as I write this, I can hear Emily on the phone with Daniel, planning their outfits for the dance. James is in his study, probably texting Rachel. Our younger children are playing video games with Jack and Jenny in the living room, blissfully unaware that they're sitting next to their half-siblings. I've considered every possible course of action. 1. Confront James and Rachel immediately. 2. Forbid Emily from seeing Daniel without explanation. 3. Gather more evidence before making any moves. 4. Leave with my children and never look back. 5. Maintain the lie to protect the children. But each option seems worse than the last. If I confront them, I'll destroy multiple families. If I stay silent, I'm complicit in their deception and risking my children's emotional well-being. If I leave, I'll tear apart the only world my children have ever known. The cruelest part is that Rachel was my best friend. She held my hand through difficult pregnancies, celebrated my children's births, and comforted me when I lost my mother, all while sleeping with my husband and raising his secret children. Last night, I found myself parked outside Rachel's house at midnight. Through the window, I could see James's car in her driveway, another late work meeting. I watched as they moved around her kitchen, laughing and touching with the familiarity of longtime lovers. My husband looked happier there than he ever did at home. This morning, Rachel called to invite us all to her house for a special announcement this weekend. I already know what it is. She's going to announce her pregnancy. James will act surprised, everyone will celebrate, and I'll be expected to help plan another baby shower for my husband's secret child. But I've made a decision. This Sunday at Rachel's announcement dinner, I'm bringing my own surprise. I've hired a private investigator who's compiled all the evidence, the letters, emails, bank statements, and DNA tests I secretly had done on all the children. I've also invited James's parents and Rachel's family. The truth deserves to be heard, doesn't it? Or am I about to destroy 8 innocent children's lives because of their parents' sins? As I sit here in my perfect house, surrounded by perfect lies, I keep asking myself, when did I stop being the protagonist in my own love story and become the unwitting villain in someone else's? How did I miss the signs for 20 years? What kind of mother am I if I let this continue? Tomorrow, Emily will try on dresses for her dance with Daniel. Rachel will come over to help, probably bringing her signature chocolate chip cookies that everyone loves. James will work late again, and I'll sit here, watching this elaborate performance, knowing it's all about to come crashing down. The invitations for Sunday's dinner have been sent. The evidence is organized in a folder on my desk. My lawyer is on standby, but my finger hovers over the send button for the group text that will set everything in motion. 20 years of lies are about to end. Or will they? Because even now, even knowing everything I know, a small part of me wants to protect my children from this truth. Is there any right choice when every option leads to pain?